Hi, I'm Mama Brown, and I want to tell you 8 reasons why I homeschool. Even before I get into that, I want to let you know that I've always thought that being a mom is the most competitive sport I never knew was a sport. And so, from the very beginning, there's all these questions about what you're going to do and why you're going to do them, unwarranted advice, and people judging you for what you choose to do or what you're capable of doing. I don't want that to be in this space. It is important for everybody to feel respected and loved. We're all trying to raise happy, whole, and healthy children, and God has provided me the opportunity to do that through homeschool. But by all means, every parent is trying to do the best that they can with their children. And so, let's get started. The first reason why I choose to homeschool is to teach my babies biblical truths and to use the scripture as a foundation for their teaching. And so, I really enjoy being able to be home and know everything that they're learning, what they're interested in, what things they are contemplating and reasoning with, right? The Bible tells me to raise up my children in the way that they should go, so that they won't depart from it. The second reason why I choose to homeschool is to teach them culturally relevant information, current events, civic engagement. We are able to, because they're homeschooled, really talk about current events, why things are happening, what they feel about the things that are happening, emotional intelligence, neuroplasticity, and all types of really wonderful, beautiful subjects. The third reason why I choose to homeschool is the flexibility of schedule. With 3 little kiddos, it's important to me for them to be able to get enough sleep, for them to understand the importance of good, whole food. And so our schedule really is conducive for their sleeping and for their good eating. And so whether it is making sure that we do a lot of cooking classes in order to, and I say classes very loosely, the reality is they know how to make almond milk or know how to make kale chips and homemade bread and things of that nature, because not only do they see mommy do it, but they come alongside because that is something important to me and important to our family. And so being homeschooled allows for them sort of to see the start to finish process of mommy's day and learn and grow and gain from those. The fourth reason why I choose to homeschool is the uniqueness and approach. Now, there's a lot of different approaches with homeschool. There's unschooling and unit subjects. I tend to be very eclectic with my approach, and the lovely thing is that it doesn't have to be all at the dining room table. And for me, it's not. I have 2 really energetic boys and a young little beautiful girl. And in having those babies, what works for them and what works for me is how we roll. And so sometimes we're doing a unit study because they love dinosaurs. And so when we're going over the creation week and when dinosaurs were created on the 6th day and what happened to the dinosaurs and all of that stuff, we took a really deep dive and we tended to do a unit study at that point. My approach is child-led most of the time, but keep in mind, again, like we said at the beginning, your approach fits you and your babies, and you're doing the best you can do with them, for them. And so that is really wonderful to me that I'm able to take different approaches with different children or in different seasons or in different days. And so it really allows for it to be unique to them, and I don't label myself in any particular role, because sometimes I might do a worksheet, and sometimes we're going to do a unit study, and sometimes they're going to say, I want to learn this thing right here, while another child wants to learn something completely different, and that's what they're digging into that day. And we're finding really cool projects and things that they can interact with in order to learn those subjects. The 5th reason why I really love homeschooling is their involvement in the community. They are able to walk up the street and go to the fire station, to the police station, and meet the local people in the community, understand what they do, interview and interact with those adults, understand what they do, why they do it, what got them passionate about it. And because I started homeschooling from the very jump, I find now that as we walk around the community, the children know some of the staple people in our community. And I really like that. planted trees, and one is very passionate about recycling. And so they've been in front of city council. They look at what our community has and what they want it to have, and then they ask, how can we get that in our community? And so I really appreciate their learning being directly applied to their community to positively affect change. And so they feel like a stakeholder here, which I really find is important to our family. The sixth reason why I homeschool is the closeness of family. Something that my oldest realized is if they went to school, they would all be in separate classes or in different rooms, and they wouldn't be able to experience and grow together. And so having homeschool together allows for them to help one another, allows for them to sort of challenge one another, also allows for them to celebrate one another. And so there's milestones that they move through that they're able to witness with each other, and that I'm able to witness those things too. And it's really cool to see siblings coming alongside one another to encourage one another. The seventh reason that I love homeschool, and actually my babies love homeschool, and they said, Mommy, you have to say this. I get to learn at my own pace. And so for some things, they really like to camp out there, and they want to learn as much as they can, all the angles that they can, and they get to. And then sometimes they're like, you know what, Mommy, I'm good off that. And we move on. And so it's really cool to be able to go at their own pace. Certain subjects they get really easily, really quickly, right? And then others they may struggle in or have a challenge in. And the beauty in homeschooling is, hey, we all learn at our own pace. And so if this is something that's hard, let's talk about growth mindset. Let's talk about what we can and can't control. Let's talk about the beauty in failing, and failing really being a lesson, and continuing on. So it really helps them to emotionally grow. It really helps them to see themselves in their strengths and in their growth opportunities. And so they really like the fact that they can go at their own pace. The last reason why I homeschool is actually given to me by my babies. They love the fact that they get to learn what a textbook says, what history says, who's telling the history, and where that information is coming from. They really like to research, and they really like to understand why people believe different things and where those things come from. And so they love the fact that we can go over something like creation versus evolution, that we can go over Darwin or eugenics, that we can go over where something stems from and do the research. So we'll use the library. We, of course, use museums. We interview people. We use the internet and deep dive and dig in, and they get to learn and research and discover for themselves. My children really like to discover for themselves. I hope that helps. Reasons why I homeschool. Have a nice one.